right, good Wednesday, July 3rd. So I decided I washed it up. I'm going to get that put away. I'm going to get the water wagon over there put away. So as I drove around, the bean fields look good. Being I planted the enlist beans. Not going to say I won't get a few weeds here and there. You know, second crop of weeds break out in small areas. It's usually like on headlands where you're turning corners, shit like that, but I don't think I'm gonna have a problem. And we haven't had aphids in, I don't know, forever. So I'm using the RV Marine antifreeze -50. I've got it all poured in there, so now I'm gonna move it over so I'm not hanging out on the lawn and run it through it for a minute or so. Well, I'm gonna run it through it till it's almost out, because obviously I don't want to run out. And then Barb's gonna come over and we're gonna play equipment Tetris again, because we gotta get the grain head out again, and then put the sprayer back there, the water wagon back there, the anhydrous applicator behind the corn planter, so I can put the 7230 on the brush hog, so I can, well, I got a lot to mow, but at least mow behind the barn over there where I parked the two nurse tanks. Where am I pointing? So I can get them put away. As you can see, the channel guy showed up sometime yesterday and he put his signs up. So I talked to the Pioneer guy, or one of them, and he said next week they'll probably come and put their signs up. And then when we're done doing all this equipment Tetris bullshit, we will we'll go around and look at some crops, because it's, like I said, July 3rd. All right, Barb just left. I don't know what it is, a little afternoon. We just got done playing equipment Tetris for now. Sprayer's in, anhydrous applicator is in over here. This is obviously just sitting here until fall. Pretty sure this is where it goes though when we put it away in the fall. Yeah, because you remember we dragged the cart around. So that's squeezed in there. Yeah, we try to use every inch. This is squeezed in here. So pretty sure when this is back farther come fall, and maybe a little more this way, I think I put the 8235 back here, because I'll swing the tongue. I don't remember. But anyways, I could put a smaller tractor in here, but they all go in the other shed. So basically we figure out room for everything except for obviously augers, because there's still shit in those bins to sell. So kind of hard to put augers away. I'm sure as hell not putting them away and pulling them out and setting them up every time we decide to sell something new. So, all right, I'm gonna close this up and whatnot, and then I'll take you around and show you some corn and whatnot. All right, I'm gonna walk over there first, but I'm gonna do a little mini rant here first. And some of you might think I'm ridiculous. And I know I did this last year, but I don't give a fuck. Okay, I'm going around, look, I'll show you some beans, but we'll look at them in a few weeks, because the corn is what, you know, the old adage, knee high by the 4th of July. I prefer it to be bigger than that, but, you know, if you're knee high by the 4th of July, you're probably good. And let's be honest, some corn that's shorter than that could still be good. Depends on the growing year, but the 4th of July is a date on the calendar. So you're not going to get this video until probably the 5th or 6th of July. So I'm going to wish you a happy belated Independence Day. I hope you had a good Independence Day. And the reason why I'm a fucking stickler for that is because, like I said, the 4th of July is a date on the calendar. Do we say Merry 25th of December? Or Happy January 1st? You know, we say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'm surprised we even still say Christmas, because it's got the word Christ in it. But, you know, how they're trying to take God out of everything. But Independence Day is one of the most fucking important holidays they are. It's not just cook some hot dogs and hamburgers and a day off, which, you know, it is for everybody, especially this year. It's on a Thursday. Well, even if it's on a weekend, they usually give you Friday or Monday off. But my theory is it's kind of like democracy. We've been getting democracy pushed down our throat for years because they don't want you to know it's a constitutional republic, because that's based on individual liberties, you know, freedom. Democracy, yeah, not so much. So they don't want you to remember Independence Day because people fucking died for your independence. And people sign, loud truck coming, so I'm just trying to get where it's not going to be too loud on you guys. So, you know, there was some really important documents signed way back when to, you know, that had to do with our independence. And I know there's going to be people in the comments of this video that are going to say, hey, Andy, hope you had a good 4th of July. Whatever. I mean, you know, is it that hard to remember Independence Day? I mean, you fucking remember Christmas and New Year's and Easter. Of course, Easter changes, you know, different dates and whatnot. But same with Thanksgiving. It's always on a Thursday, but sometimes, you know, it's not obviously the same date every year. But people don't say happy whatever, 24th of, you know, Thursday of November. They say happy Thanksgiving. So can we try and remember Independence Day? Because it's a really fucking important day in history. But like I said, my theory is they've pushed 4th of July down everyone's throat so that you don't remember that it's actually Independence Day. So, but there's my bitch for that. Oh, well, I'm at it. I might as well do the dipshit thing, because there really isn't any yet, because the last video's been out for 2 or 3 days now, whatever. Old Joey and Jaden and TT and all them have been pretty silent. Of course, that's their usual, though. They come in after the fact when I don't even get the notifications from YouTube. But I noticed there was one, what was your name? Michael Raymond. Spells it different than you, Jeff, so, you know, and it's Raymond, you're Raymo, even though it spelled like Raymond. But anyways, he's a Trump hater, and like I've told you before, I can push on the little icon and see how many comments you've made previously, and I can go back to those comments. And he's another one that comments usually after the fact a lot of times, so I don't see them. But on the whole insurance thing on the last video that I was talking about, how the insurance on that went up $300 and all that, somebody made a comment, and he goes, oh, bullshit, the reason why insurance goes up is because people aren't insured enough, you know, when they get into accidents. Well, I'm pretty sure that we're required to have a minimum amount of liability. And if you're like me and you own a business and we live in a sue-happy society, I actually have more liability than what the minimum is, which is part of the reason why I pay more for insurance. And if you own a vehicle, you know, like that truck's in beautiful shape for 2016. Pewy. And I don't know, 58,900 miles, almost 59,000 miles now, because it's my farm truck, doesn't get driven a lot. Obviously, I don't owe a fucking dime on that truck. So if I wanted to, I could drop the collision on that truck, because I don't have a loan on it. Because that's how it works. You got a loan, you need collision. But I'm obviously not gonna, because the thing's in, like I said, damn good shape. So if something ever happened, I want it to be covered. But people don't want to have collision because they drive an older vehicle or their vehicle's paid off. That's their prerogative. But as far as the liability part goes, no, you're full of shit there, buddy, because insurance companies make you keep so much liability. You want to know the reason why State Farm's been jacking insurance lately? Saw a thing on Newsmax yesterday or day before, can't remember, about how State Farm wants out of California because there's some law in California about how they can't raise their rates. And with all the wildfires and everything that's been going on over the years, because, you know, California, let's go green and not manage our forests, so they just fucking burn to the ground. State Farm can't afford to keep paying out all these massive claims and not be able to raise the insurance rates because of California's laws. So they're thinking about leaving California. So I'm sure State Farm's raising the rates in all the rest of the fucking states to make up for it, which is why that went up $300. So, yep, you're the dipshit for the week. So,
I don't know. And of course, he goes back. Some of the comments in some of his other videos, I wanted to mention this. Like I said, he's a Trump hater. And he was bitching to me on a previous video that I never saw it until I went back today and looked about how, yeah, you bitch about China and the cheap shit they bring into this country, but you're good with selling your grain to China. Yeah, well, there's that whole thing of how fucking stupid you people are for spewing shit without educating yourselves. Go look and see how much grain China's bought when Obama and now Biden are in office. Yeah, when Trump was in office, yeah, they bought some grain because Trump made a trade agreement with them where you either fucking buy from us or a certain amount. Not, he didn't say you got to buy it all from us. He said you need to buy a certain amount from us or I'm going to tariff the fucking shit out of you on all your shit. Because you know what? The days of you being able to dump your shit into here cheap are over. And then not buy our shit, or they tariff the shit out of our stuff when we send this much to them and they send this much to us. So yeah, go look, see how much fucking soybeans China's bought there, buddy, and tell me, give me that answer. So there's your dipshit. Let's go look at some corn. All right, like I said, the channel guy has come and put some signs up, but Pioneer should be here next week. Okay, I'm holding the camera right here in front of my face. So as you can tell, we are head high right here in the test plot. And I don't know how well you can tell, but if you look across, you can see some that's a little taller, some that's a little shorter. But this is an awesome looking piece of corn. So another, I guess that's July 3rd, another 2 weeks or less. This should be all tasseled out. And I don't think it'll all tassel at the same time. We'll see, because there's, you know, different varieties in here and different day lengths. But yeah, this stuff looks really, really good. All right, so like I told you, I'm not driving around everywhere. The pieces up back, the fucking bank's right here. If I get around the corner, you'll be able to see this field better. The pieces up back look just as good as the test block. Of course, they were planted the same day. This one field was planted a day later. I got my book with me too, the 4th of May. All right, if nobody's coming down the road here, I can slow down. Nobody's coming, so I can slow down when I get next to it here. And then we'll start looking at later planted stuff. But that all looks pretty good. All right, on to the later planted. All right, this farm was planted May 7th. So 3-4 days later, that's pretty much head high, at least chest high. All right, I'll just leave it on. We're going down the road here to the, what I call the boot of Italy farm, the 50 acres down here. And I'll look in my book and see what the date was on this, because that piece we just looked at, well, looked at through the window, was May 7th, I think I told you, and then we sat for 13 days. So I think this is May 20th. So I will look real quick in my book, and then I will get out and take a look at it. All right, let's look in the book. Yes, May 20th. And then the next farm I'll take you to was May 23rd. And there's one in between them two that maybe we'll swing over to, but just trying to get a, oh, parking uphill. Just trying to get a rough idea. I mean, you can tell by looking at that right there. We're all of waist high. Yeah, and look at the dry ground already, and we just had 1.8 inches of rain. All right, so leaves are, you know, pushing chest high across here. Looks very good. I will take it. I mean, you can pretty much tell looking across the road that it's above your waist and pushing chest high. Alright, now let's go check some that's planted a little later. Alright, this is the 80 acres over to Scotty's. There's 23 acres on this side of the road, 44 in that field, and like 13 or 14 in one way out back. So I'm just walking into the headland here. As you can see, this is the 23rd, couple days. So this is a little shorter. This is a little above my belly button, but still, you know, above waist high. But there's something neat about this is, okay, this field was Pioneer. This field, the headlands were Pioneer, and then I ran out and I switched the channel. So I'm gonna drive slowly when I go down by the end. Turn down my radio. Why are my signal lights on? But what's neat about it is the Pioneer, you can tell, and I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to, but the 24 rows of the headland, and then when you get out there, the Pioneer is actually a little bit taller than what the channel is at the moment. All planted the same day. I mean, that's just the difference in varieties. But I'd say it's, I can tell sitting here, you might not be able to. It's not as much, it's not as prevalent as it was like a week ago. But I mean, it all looks damn good. So I'm back out on the road where right here is where in the last video the dumbass passed me. Right here on this curve. And then right about here, you know, where he couldn't see the cars coming and drove them off the road and then went and turned here. Well, I turned it back on because I don't know if this woman, I noticed these two cars when I was pulling off of Scotty's road. I don't know if the second car is trying to get her attention that, hey, your back hatch is up on your vehicle there. And there's nothing sticking out of the back of it for it to be up. But the hatch on that little white SUV is wide open. Yep, I mean, there's stuff back there, but there's nothing, you know, sticking out. How long the stuff back there stays, who knows? Depends on how much she accelerates when she stops. But I don't know, some people just don't pay any attention, I guess. Alright, this is that farm like 3-4 miles south of the home farm. That's all of between waist and chest high. That looks real good. I didn't realize the town been down here. The town dug this ditch out all the way down through here. You can see it in my mirror there. But I'm not getting out. So there's another field back there you can't really see. There's a hay field right here. Another field right here. Hey, you can see they didn't dig this part of the ditch because there really ain't much, but you can see that corn's all of between waist and chest high. Oh, and again, can you see real well without getting out in there the spots where I turn? I can kind of see a tiny bit, but like I said, when you get it smaller, it tends to come back. But that corn looks good. Like I said, I'm not getting out. I'm not taking it to everything neither. Matter of fact, now, going back this way, we're not really gonna run by. Well, I got one part of this farm. There's a cornfield up here on the left. I guess I'll show that real quick. And there's more down the road, but I'm not going down to them because I'd have to get off the road. I'm not getting off the road, but that's part of that field right there. I'll just slow down going by this one down here on the left, and then we'll look at some bean fields on the way home because that's pretty much what's in this direction for me going back home. And then we'll take a better look at bean fields in a couple weeks. But yeah, that's all of waist high, between waist and chest high. Alright, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time looking at beans for right now. But, oh, hey, there goes a deer. Didn't even see it when I was pulling in. Stop eating my beans, you fucker. But they look pretty good. mean, I don't know. Oh, I'd say 8 to 10 inches tall. I mean, obviously there's some spots that are a little taller. There's some spots that are a little shorter. You know, you can almost tell looking at that field on the other side of the ditch on that knoll, they're a little shorter because it's been dry. Like I said, I had 1.5 inches of rain for the first 28 days of June, and then I got 1.7 or 1.8 the 29th and 30th of June. So, and my fellow farmers, you can probably agree with me. I looked in the book. Shit, 28th or 29th of May these were planted. So they've been in the ground for pushing 5 weeks, or in the ground and up. The rate that beans grow for the first month compared to what corn grows is like night and day. But like I said, in 2 weeks these things will be pushing knee high probably, and quite bushy, because beans start out slow. That's just, I don't know, it's just the way they are. In a couple weeks they'll be considerably bigger, and you'll be able to start seeing flowers on them. We'll take a peek at a few more fields as we're going up the road. Jimmy's house is up here, and then like I said, we're not going around looking at beans right now. So it ain't the easiest to see because of the weeds on the side of the road, but that's the field next to Jimmy's house. That's the field across from Jimmy's house. Obviously they look pretty good. Yeah, a little bit of volunteer corn here and there, but they don't look bad. Like I said, I'd put beans right now in the 8 to 12 inch tall range. Probably the majority of them are 8 to 10 inches tall, but they look good. Yeah, that one's probably just too hard for you to see, but all right, we're going back to the shop. It's almost 1. I'm getting hungry for lunch too. I'll give you one more just because there's the test plot and there's the shop, so I'm almost back, but the weeds are definitely dying. The beans look pretty damn good. Like I said, there's the piece right up the road from the bins here. They always look short for the first month. I don't know why. It's just the way beans are. All right, back at the shop. So here's your one more thing. First off, push on the Grumpy Farmer apparel link and get your I'm voting for the felon shirt. I saw a thing earlier this morning that was disturbing. You know, they said, of course, you know, the Democrats have been having a meltdown since it's like we've all of a sudden realized that pudding brain has got fucking dementia, you know? Wow. But I saw a thing that said the only one that polls show that can beat Trump is Michael Obama, you know, Barack's husband. So I highly doubt I've got, I mean, maybe have a few, but I highly doubt I got a lot of black people that watch my videos. But if you do, I'm speaking to you especially. I mean, did you not see that 8 years of the Messiah didn't really do much for you because they keep telling you how bad you've got it? And you look around right now and all the black people that, you know, are like, they ain't voting for Biden, we're voting for Trump because, you know, we had more money in our pocket. People are realizing this, especially a lot of the black people. But if they run the Messiah's spouse, because, you know, not sure whether to call a wife or a husband, but, you know, is that going to make you flip and go back and vote for, you know, because it'll be supposedly the first black female president? Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't know, man. The Obamas are doing really fucking well right now. What are they worth? 60 to 80 million dollars or something. Got Netflix shit going on, books, all that. I just want to remind people, go back and look at what presidents' net worths were when they went into office. Just go back to like Reagan. You ain't got to go back that far if you don't want to. And then look at what they were worth when they got out. And the only one you'll see that was poorer was Donald Trump. And here's my question for the Trump haters. All right. If you know, you're all like, oh, Trump's going to ruin this country, you know, all the Joy Reid and all the freaking, you know, Democrat pundits, that he's going to want to put us all in jail, and he won't leave the White House in 4 years if he does get elected. What the fuck? I mean, and if people out there believe that, as I've stated before, you're a complete fucking moron. But here's a man who he didn't take his salary for being president. He lost close to $1 billion worth of worth, and he's, you know, now pissing away money to fight all these bullshit lawsuits. Okay? He gave black colleges and black universities the most funding of any president in history. Guess what Joe did when he got into office? He took that back. Yeah, the majority of it. And you know how Joe tries to tell you that I will not raise taxes on anybody who makes less than $450,000. Okay. But he's going to repeal Trump's tax cuts because, oh, they only benefit the rich. First of all, go look up what the CBO has to say about that, the Congressional Budget Office. I did it on a live stream probably a year ago. Them fucking tax cuts helped the middle class and the lower class more than anything when you look at the percentage of what people saved. Okay? And if somebody in that category right now making below that 450,000, let's just say a family making 100,000 a year that has been getting an extra, I don't know, I'm just throwing numbers out there, $20, $30 a week in their paycheck because of the Trump tax cuts. When Biden does away with them, guess what? He did fucking tax you because you're not going to have that 20 or $30 a week in your pocket anymore. So it's bullshit when he says, I won't be taxing you people, but I'm doing away with Trump's tax cuts because it only helped the rich. Who are Biden's fucking donors? Hollywood, you know, all these fucking elites. But those are the people he supposedly is going to tax? Yeah. Why would they be supporting him then? That's a crock of shit. And then they're talking about how all the billionaires and millionaires are the ones supporting Trump. Again, educate yourself. Go look at all the fucking fundraising money he's made, like ever since they tried to make him into this felon. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars have been flowing into Trump's campaign. Where's it coming from? The average fucking Joe out there. That's where it's coming from. He's getting the small dollar, $5, $10, $20 donations from the average American who can't really afford to give him that, but they can't fucking afford to have 4 more years of Biden, so they're willing to give him $10 to get back to, I don't know, being able to afford groceries. So, all right, we'll see you in the next one, whatever it is. And remember, you're going to get this after the fact, so I hope you had a good Independence Day. Would it kill you to fucking be able to call it Independence Day? You know, 4th of July is a date on that thing right there, a calendar.